My guests are on the way.
Yeah, I saw her walking down the street. A little girl, she looked so sweet. I followed her for half a mile. I had to stop and so go wide. You see, I was looking back to see if she was looking back to see if I was looking back at her. Yeah, she had a yellow golden hair. I had to follow her everywhere. She had a wiggle when she walked. I had to stop a while and talk. You see, I was looking back to see if she was looking back to see if I was looking back at her. Guitar! To see if I was looking back at her. Yeah, she had a yellow golden hair. I had to follow her every word. She had a wiggle when she walked. I had to stop a while and talk. You see, I was looking back to see if she was looking back to see if I was looking back at her. Do it, yeah! To see if I was looking back at her. Oh yeah, now I was looking back to see if she was looking back to see if I was looking back at her. Now I was looking back to see if she was looking back to see if I was looking back at her.
And the mean accordion, the mean harmonica there was by Archie Moore. Also in the studio, Alan Marshall, the bass guitarist, Tim Reddy, the drummer, Stephen, the lead guitarist, couldn't be here today. Welcome to the show, boys.
Hi, Billy.
Tell me, the big surprise is why I'm playing your stuff. Why aren't you doing it live here on the show?
Well, we were told that, at least the email I got was that, can you do a quick acoustic number? But we're a Chicago-style band. It's electric, it's live, it's full. How can I put it? Full-bodied, as it were. And we just hadn't, with the short notice, we just hadn't done any work acoustically for a long, long time. So we thought we'd bring in a couple of recordings.
Okay, I'll let you off.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been in existence now over what, 30 years?
Yeah, the band was formed in 1980 by an old ex-army buddy of mine who was about 10 years my senior. And he formed it in 1980, Intercity Blues Band in Germany, in a place called Detmold in Germany near Paderborn. And he collared me basically to be a roadie in the beginning, and all the roadieing I was doing and so on. Eventually picked up the harmonica, and he'd get me up for a number of 2, and then it became 3 and then 4 and so on and so forth. So it became more integrated with it. But when I came back here about 10 years ago this year, in 2007, one of the band members rang me up to say Mike's not too good and it doesn't look good. And sure enough, within 2 months he'd gone. And it was over a tearful phone call with his wife, who now lives down in southern Wales, I have to say.
So you became part of the band?
I basically, over a tearful phone call with her, I said, how do you feel about me continuing his legacy? And she said that'd be a marvellous idea, and 10 years later we're still doing it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm busy. Are you all pros, or are you working?
No, we've got jobs. I mean, Alan here runs a pub. The Vic.
Victoria Waterloo.
Victoria Waterloo. We'll be playing next Wednesday.
You're sure of 1 gig a week, are you?
Yeah.
The Victoria Waterloo, yeah.
Yeah, and I advise on sales and marketing around Merseyside.
And what about the bass guitarist?
That's
Sorry, what about you, Tim, drummer?
I teach drums and do some session work and, keep going that way. And this keeps me busy enough, really. So,
Bought the wife a set of drums for Christmas 6 years ago.
Pardon?
I bought the wife a set of drums for Christmas 6 years ago.
And you
sold them 2 years later. Sold them 2 years later. She had 1 lesson, but she did love it. But the guy never come back. So I don't know what kind of an impression she made.
Yeah.
Now that record, that one I just played looking back.
Yeah.
That was done at the Cavern by many bands, but the band that I know did it regular in their repertoire. Every time I saw them was the Hideaways.
Okay.
And Judd Lander played the harmonica in
Yeah,
the Hideaways,
yeah,
you see, so
yeah.
sure that fitted in.
Yeah.
And Frankie Connor actually was on the lead vocalist on that number.
Right, okay, yeah. Well, I was in Germany all that time. I've been in Germany for 33 years, so I was sort of away out of all of that, and really have only injected myself back into Liverpool about 10 years ago. From being a boy soldier, that's why I ended up out in Germany.
I mean, I always had the wrong impression. I was talking to Paul Jones, he said, name dropping, who does the blues program. As you know,
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
I could never get into the blues because when I was working at the Cavern, I used to get bored when, believe it or not, I'm sorry about this, when people like Muddy Waters, Sonny Boy Williamson,
Yeah.
and that ilk were on.
Yeah,
I just became bored because the music was so mundane.
yeah. Some people don't get it, and I've got to say that there's, if you notice here on my hat, there's the chicken feathers in there.
Yeah.
And that comes from the New Orleans, the voodoo.
Yeah.
And if you ever watch that first Roger Moore Bond movie where it was all about voodoo and it was all done in New Orleans, with the voodoo and the drug taking and everything else, it's all about the trance and the trance-like bass lines and the trance-like groove that blues produces. Eventually people get hooked on it and they've just got to go and watch it again, like you need a curry once a month or once a week. You just got to go and get your blues fix. And we've got fans, we've got people who just, when you're playing
I'm
again...
sure you have.
Again,
To me, it was always down.
Oh, that's the simple.
morning.
Yeah, that's the
You know,
simple. Yeah, that's
you
the
know.
general joke. But it's but as you
Is that true? There's a leading American bluesman, and on his tombstone it says, "Didn't wake up this morning." Is that true, or is that just a rumour?
Wouldn't be surprised.
yeah. No, but yeah, people got fixed ideas about it. I have to say, Liverpool in particular.
Oh, that's always been
suffers.
good. Yeah.
Well, Liverpool suffers from a bit of a blues famine because
They didn't in the 60s.
No, well, the Beatles killed it all. Basically, as soon as the Beatles came along, everyone dropped what they were doing, and it's now let's do beat music, and that was it. So if we go outside of Liverpool, they absolutely go nuts for it. As soon as you get outside Liverpool, you come back into Liverpool, and they go, "Oh, blues," in the same way you've just done. Yeah. But they go nuts for it outside. People may have seen us playing in the city.
You
in
do
town.
busk a lot, don't you?
We do busk an awful lot, yeah, and it gets.
And you're very lively on your busking as well.
Right, yeah. So it's
Keeps us warm.
keeps us warm in the winter. Yeah.
In the winter, yeah.
And it's, but it also sells the concept of blues to a city that's largely been without it for about, I would say, 50 years, or since the Beatles anyway.
I don't know, Everton are doing well.
Sorry?
Everton are doing well.
Yeah,
Blues.
yeah.
Of course, they
One
are.
successful blues at least.
Yeah, there's a few about, but there's, what I'm saying is that there's just not as many as there would have otherwise been.
I mean, my interests, as you know, go right across the board.
Sure.
Apart from apart from modern jazz, there's not much I don't enjoy, and rap.
Yeah.
Modern jazz I don't understand because it's so long, and rap I just don't understand.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? But it always seems to me that the blues numbers are always at least 4.5, 5 minutes long.
Yeah. If particularly we're playing live, it can be like that, because if you get that groove I was talking about, that hypnotic groove, once you're in that groove, it's how do you get out of it? You don't want to get out of it. You just keep going, just go round again, do more solos, and just people just go nuts for it. And but eventually you do have to stop, because even a great groove gets boring after a while. So. Yeah, you move on to the next song. But yeah, you're right. They can be sort of 6 minutes, 7 minutes long when you're doing them live.
And the harmonica is a great instrument for the blues, isn't it?
Yeah,
It can wail in it. The only musical instrument that can really wail.
For such a small instrument, it really is so dynamic.
Yeah.
And adds colour and dynamism to it all, as it's like. But,
Okay, I'll be back with the boys with another bit of music, and we talk about the popularity of the blues.
Travel. BBC Radio Merseyside.
How's it looking, George?
Well, still problems on the M6 on the southbound side. Still a bit of queuing traffic, all due to an accident. This is between junction 28 for Leyland and 27 for Standish. So if you're heading that way, still perhaps expect some delays to your journey. In Liverpool, Queen's Drive on the southbound side, still a bit of slow traffic, and it is still partially blocked, all due to an accident around the junction of Mill Lane, just near to the Jolly Miller. And in the Bromborough area, Allport Road, in both directions, partially blocked, all due to a serious accident around the junction of Greenfields Avenue. And it is looking just a little bit slow there at the moment. If you spot any other problems, call in if it's safe and legal to do so on 0151 794 0953. George Willis, BBC Radio Merseyside Travel.
Thank you, Paul.
Cheers.
This Sunday, a Premier League double bill. First up at 1:30, Everton away at Chelsea after a draw at Manchester City.
Calvert-Lewin plays it across. Rooney! Yes! Wayne Rooney has scored for Everton!
Then at 4, we're at Anfield as Liverpool take on Arsenal.
An opportunity. Yes! Sadio Mane puts Liverpool in front.
Chelsea, Everton and Liverpool, Arsenal. Full exclusive local commentary on both games with coverage beginning at 1 this Sunday on BBC Radio Merseyside.
I'll have something to say about football later on in the programme as well, so don't miss it. My guests are Intercity Blues. And if you Googled Intercity Blues, you'd be covered in inner city blues before you get down to them. So, I mean, you've been going for a long time now, making a living.
Yeah.
How many female blues singers are there about?
Oh, there's
Not enough.
Yeah, there could be more, but there's a few. Particularly down the London way. There's a few down there. Up here, Connie Lush.
Connie is the
Connie
epitome.
Or Val, as some call her, but Connie, she's absolutely top notch. She's the top.
Is she sponsored by Gordon's, or is it another brand?
I think it's probably the other way
It's
round.
another brand of gin.
Very popular these days.
Sorry, Connie. Yeah, but it's but her music's fantastic, and I can remember the first time seeing her when I came back to Liverpool about 10 years ago. She was playing here in the city centre, open air. And I think Matthew Street Festival, wasn't she? She was on there, and seen in several shows since, and so dynamic.
Brilliant. I mean, the person I have trouble with, because she's acknowledged as a genius, and I've always found trouble in acknowledging her, and that's Janis Joplin, who to me just shouted.
Yeah, some of the time, yeah. Some of it went over the top, but it's an acquired taste, isn't it? But Beth Hart is another one that's sort of in that ilk, but not quite so heavy.
She's Joe Thingy's protege, isn't she?
Yeah, Joe Bonamassa.
Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah.
He came in a few months ago, about 2 years ago, Joe. What a lovely man he was.
Yeah. But good stuff. There's loads of stuff on YouTube about the pair of them. Promoting their album. I forget what the album's called now.
And they did one together, that's right,
Yeah. But some really powerful stuff.
What about you, Tim and Alan? What do you buy to listen to?
Oh, that's a big, long... We haven't got enough time for that.
You YouTube and listen to all the stuff on there.
Who buys today?
I mean, there's a big record fair in Liverpool this weekend, tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, actually. And I'm taking along stuff to sell myself on the Sunday. Because the wife will throw me out if we don't get rid of some stuff. And I've left at home all of my Muddy Waters, all of my Sonny Boy Williamsons, all of my, Big John and Lightning Fred and all that, you know what I mean? Because I don't think I'll be able to sell them. Would that be wrong?
Oh, that's wrong, yeah. There are people, as I say,
But there are enough of them.
Yeah, there are people who have to have their blues fix, and they just trawl through all the CDs trying to.
You
buy
make it
the
seem
old
like
stuff.
you can get on the prescription.
Yeah. You should do. It should be on.
We
the
are the
NHS.
prescription.
Yeah.
Well, can I just bring you three back to our house and sell you to that?
Yeah. What I like about when we do the live music on the streets is is you get people voting with their feet. You'll get hundreds of people walk by.
You have watched it.
And and then some will stop, and then another one stops, and it's like a filter process, and you end up then with 100+ people in front of you that really are into the blues, and the rest just carry on shopping, and it's a cool way of doing it.
We've had pensioners clubs jitterbugging in front of us. We've had little kids dance troops in the little sequin stuff doing organised routines in front of us out of nowhere, and it's just magic when it happens.
Yeah.
It's something that comes from up there and it comes through us, and it's absolute magic, and you can feel it tingle through the electricity when it all goes the right way, and when there's good, when the weather's good and everything, it's fantastic.
I'm trying to think of the guy who was regular at the Cavern, and he was amazed to find out he's still alive today and still performing. I can picture him, black hair, and always played the organ as well. Is Eric somebody?
Eric Bird and Eric Clapton.
No. He was at the Cavern regular, as a regular blues.
Oh, regular local guy, was it?
He wasn't local now, but he did the Cavern a lot. Anyway, thank you boys for coming in. Your gigs at the Victoria pub when?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
And after that you're at?
After that we're at the Old Courts in Wigan on the Thursday evening.
Are you playing or you're up?
No, we're there. We're playing. It's our gig. It's our gig.
Not as far as we know, not yet anyway.
How about festivals? Do you do any of that?
Yeah, we've just done the what's it called? In front of the St George's Hall there. We played 3 days on the trot there. Done the Birkenhead Festival a couple of months ago. 3 days on the trot, headlined that, and it's for the Artisan. The Artisan Festival that they do there, which is coming on. The next one's on the Pier Head, I think, and that's in about 2 months' time. So they tend to get us up there to headline, which is good fun.
Okay, good lads.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for coming in. Shall we all flip, flop and fly?
Yes, we will do.
Indeed.
Blues, get me a rocking chair. Well, the blues overtake me, gonna rock right away from here. When I get lonesome, I jump on the telephone. Oh yeah. When I get lonesome, jump on the telephone. Then I call my baby, tell him I'm my way back home. Yeah, flip, flop and fly. I don't care if I die. Flip, flop and fly. I don't care if I die. a Mississippi bullfrog sitting in a hollow stump. I got so many women, I don't know which way to jump, 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 jump down, flip, flop and fly. I don't care if I die. Hello, hello, flip, flop and fly. I don't care if I die. Don't ever leave me, don't ever say goodbye. I said don't ever leave me, don't ever say goodbye. I said don't ever leave me, don't ever say goodbye.
Billy Butler.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
And we were flip-flopping flying there with the Intercity Blues. Stand by for your 5-minute career just after 3.